Dear Ms. Bunting-Smith and members of the Zoning Board, I've stood in front of you several times now, going on and on about how hundreds of people in the community object to this project without sufficiently studying the noise impact on the neighborhood. This video of the neighborhood shows a part of the route emergency vehicles have to take with lights and sirens per standard operating procedures to avoid additional liability up Underhill Road. The applicant's business, which should lawfully be within 200 feet of Central, will demand public emergency vehicles running up Underhill every third day, orders of magnitude over what we've ever seen on that road. And the town and the applicant refuse to look at this information, its impact on the environment, and the safety to the community. I and other members of the community have asked for further studying to be done, and the applicant's response was disappointing. In their letter, they stated that they would study the impacts, but the community must pay for those studies. That response is absurd given the ludicrous variance they seek from our community from a 200-foot requirement law by 3,000%. I do, however, appreciate their willingness to wait and think that they should while they or the town finds the funds to pay for the data gathering. After all, these variances create huge value for the funds and its investors. However, since we last spoke, I learned that the facility that they've continuously pointed to as the model project for all of us in Greenburgh to learn from has since been sold. In July of this year, Formation Shelbourne sold the Roseland, New Jersey facility. That specific facility is strictly assisted living, and they've continued to tout it since they've entered into discussions with the acquirer, a real estate investment arm of Prudential. This makes sense too. Formation Shelbourne was formed in 2012. While the fund family may be operating for many more years, the specific fund Formation Shelbourne, the general partner, has to have a limited life so that they can tell their investor limited partners when they may see their investments returned. According to Goldman Sachs, similar funds durations is about 10 years, and Ernst & Young has noted that the average duration of individual private equity fund investments in real estate, such as this one, have fallen from 4 years to 3 years. This fund is right on that target. The New Jersey investment was made in 2013 and they exited in just 3 years. This style of investment is not the same long-term bets that the residents make on the town. Jim Kane has said, "We remain very involved in the oversight of our communities. Well, we residents move here with our families and plan to raise them and perhaps live here long after our kids are gone. These are 30-year bets, and they are made with the understanding that the laws of the land will be upheld, not forgiven for a few $100,000. How can we believe the representations of a fund that has been telling us over and over that they are in this to be good neighbors, but are incentivized and contractually obligated to return the capital in such a short window? Formation Shelbourne isn't a neighbor. They're just visiting here long enough to suck the value out of the area, which is unlocked when you remove the neighborhood protections. And what representations will the next buyer make? And what other variances will they need in the face of a potentially bad investment? I recognize the short-term value that gets created, but the job of the zoning board and the town is to think long-term when faced with a variance question. Don't grant this variance. It's barely the short-term boon for the town given the value created by the change in land use and the risk and resource requirements the residents will have to bear. Formation Shelbourne shouldn't be allowed to develop this site, and the zoning board should tell them to go operate their business within the boundaries of the law, not a mile beyond it. Formation Shelbourne seems to have forgotten where they are, because while their manipulative legal tactics may work in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, their continuous filing, dropping, and threatening of lawsuits isn't scaring anyone here in New York. I'll leave you with this. If any of you have had difficulty following this discussion while watching this winding road, try and imagine driving up this road every third day with emergency vehicles passing you on these dangerous curves. Then realize that the town is telling us residents to relax because the emergency vehicles don't need lights or sirens. Then realize there are no sidewalks here for pedestrians and their kids to walk up this road. Then realize that this is a child's tricycle that was randomly left here on the side of the road when I filmed this today, and we didn't even notice it on the way down. Then realize Formation Shelbourne will have emergency vehicles rushing by every third day if you grant this variance. Thank you.